So Jonathan, we're out here in beautiful Quebec. We're trying out these new backcountry track kits. So why don't you just let us know what makes this track kit so ready for the snow?
So when you look at a 4-season kit, you have so many compromises to make sure that kit is able to run over all kinds of terrain. So you can run it over mud, gravel, and all that kind of stuff. But most people often only run in snow. So why have all those compromises when you can really have something that's specific for that use? So that was the idea behind the backcountry, and now brand new, the backcountry LT for X3 and Defender. So when we look at it, we have a track that's completely different. Just looking at the specific track, we have these 2-inch lugs, and even the whole pattern on the track was really created to maximize traction on all types of snow. So we have a 3-inch pitch combined with that 2-inch lug, really making sure that you have just enough, you're not digging yourself in, and you're not just scratching the surface. Also, when we look at this, we see a huge external sprocket. So by having those external teeth on the track, you're able to run that track just a bit looser. So it's so much easier for the vehicle to turn it. So you get less of a de-gearing and less reduction in power. You can see the difference with the traditional 4-season tracks. Here we have this aluminum rail. If you look at the back, it's basically on the X3, it's a 146 rails that you can find on our snowmobiles. So really having that rail allows us to run slides, and these slides really make sure that the paddles don't start twisting and are always perpendicular to the snow, making sure that your traction is optimal in all conditions.
Very cool.
You want me to move over to Defender now?
So yeah, let's take a look at the Defender. So again, you said this is the LT, so what's the difference between the LT and a regular backcountry?
You want to do it
sure, we can look at the Maverick.
So,
and this is a Maverick Sport, right? Maverick Sport Max.
Exactly. So if we look here on the regular backcountry that we have on the Maverick Sport, we have a rail at the back of a 136.
136. Okay.
If we compare it to what we have on X3 and Defender, we are on 147 on those.
Gotcha. So it just gives you that long travel, right? That's LT?
Exactly. Making sure you have all that traction, all that contact patch at the back, giving you maximum traction and really making sure that you are always staying on top of the snow.
Perfect.
You want to move to Defender now?
Sure, yeah. Now we can go look at what's on the Defender. So yeah, any big differences between the Defender and what you're going to find here on the X3?
Yes, if we look at the Defender, it's completely different from X3. Defender having that bed, we know we're going to be stacking a lot of weight. We want to keep that ability to work with this vehicle. So the geometry at the back is slightly different, really to maximize the ability to carry that weight. And for X3, we have a bit more space in the wheel wells that allowed us to have a more aggressive attack angle that goes with the personality of the vehicle.
Gotcha. So
they are different, but really the objective of these tracks where they're different is really to maximize the average use that people do with them.
So besides the tracks themselves, is the only other thing that changes is the DPS module, right? And can you kind of tell us what happens with that DPS module when you plug it in? Yeah, the DPS, the objective is really to make sure that you keep your speedometer and your odometer accurate. So making sure you're not racking up extra miles on the vehicle because you're geared differently with these tracks, and also making sure that your speedometer is reading the accurate speed. Sure.
And also that thing also helps, the DPS helps with the power steering, giving you a better feel and making sure you're not arm pumping trying to turn the vehicles around. So it's really a light drive. You're able to do whatever you want and really turn easily with these vehicles without any trouble in any conditions.
Awesome. And then I think the last big question for this video is the price. Do you know the prices off the top of your head for the backcountry kits?
Backcountry are going to be around 8,000, depending on
Canadian.
Yeah, I'm talking Canadian for you guys.
I gotta make sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be more around 7,000 in US dollars.
Okay.
Basically, it depends because the mounting kits are what is going to differ. Mounting kits being what you put on the suspension arms to be able to attach this, I don't know if you can see it here, this anti-rotation bar.
Oh yeah, I see that.
So really making sure that tracks...
And so that's basically just a bracket that bolts right onto your A-arm.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's the only thing that's going to make the price differ from a Defender to an X3.
Gotcha. Because
the tracks are approximately the same price. And yeah, with that, you'll be all set up for winter.
So Jonathan, we've talked about the side-by-sides, but now you have a pair of Outlanders here, and they have two different sets of tracks on them. So why don't you just sort of tell us the differences between the 360 and the backcountry?
Yeah, we want to be able to show the overall Apache family. So what people are used to seeing are these 4-season tracks. We have the Apache 360, we have the Apache 360 LT. LT standing for long track. So basically this is a track that's all season, and when we look at an all season track, we have the classic features. We've got the short lugs, very close together. Also, we have this internal drive sprocket. We have all these wheels. Basically, this is made to be running in any types of conditions. Either mud, gravel, anything you can find, even snow. So really, this has so many compromises for all different types of terrain, but allows you to get around and quite easily. Basically, we're also the only company putting the LT tracks on ATVs. Usually, other companies are going to put that basically only on side-by-sides. But with all this added flotation and traction, we wanted people who work with it or go out and have fun really have the most flotation and traction they could have. If we go to the other end of the spectrum, we have here our snow-only track. So basically, this ATV track has no compromises for any other terrain than snow. We know lots of people are using these tracks in snow and snow-only conditions, so why should they carry so many compromises? As you can see, it's rather different than our four-season tracks. We have 2 inches of lugs, we have 3-inch pitch, so basically that allows you to grab on snow and move it backwards and really make sure you're staying on top of that. As well, we have this external drive sprocket, which allows you to have a bit more loose in that track and making it so much easier to turn around and get that power in on the ground and not just trying to turn the track around. We also have a slide system like a snowmobile here at the bottom. We can't really see it because we're so deep in snow, but basically this allows you to have those lugs always staying perpendicular to the ground and getting so much better traction, and also allowing it to be so much easier to turn. So basically we took a regular 4-season tracks, we removed all the compromises for snow, and we are offering this package to make sure that people get the most out of their vehicle in any conditions, being snow or all the other types of terrain.
Awesome.
Thank you guys.
The rest of this day was filled with absolutely incredible riding on all of these different Can-Ams fit with track kits. So make sure you guys come back to the channel very soon for my full review on these side-by-sides and ATVs. And as always, go below, hit subscribe, and come back to the channel for the latest news, views, and real-world Can-Am track kit reviews. See ya.